Yo, 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 yo. What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James. It's the late night hype. And we're talking about this victory against these Giants. Dallas absolutely murdered these dudes again. I mean, 12 straight in a row, just total domination of these Giants. They're not a good team, but hey, there was a lot of good things that we talk about. Get on in here. But while I'm getting ready to pull some things up and pull up this sorry about the little Rayovac. What's up, Willie? What's up, Hot Shot Slayer? What's good? Get up in the building. Cowboys, let's go. We totally own the Giants. We own the NFC East. Let's keep it real. But we definitely own them Giants. They said Dak ain't lost since the Giants since 2016. That's crazy. Like, that's crazy. We ain't lost to the Giants since 2016, bro. It's 2023. That is absolute domination of one team. This is almost like Tom Brady when he was dominating the AFC East, just smashing like the Bills and them every single year. It was just incredible how he dominated the AFC East. And it looks like that's the way Dak is doing it right now. So it's good. What's up, Gabby? What's good, everybody? Get on in the building. You know the late night hype is going down. Now I know we in here, everybody's excited. We beat the Giants. It feels good. I'm showing the numbers. Let's talk about those positives right now. I'm not going to be negative on this feed, but I will keep it real. Okay, I'm not going to be negative, but I am going to keep it real about this. You get what I'm saying? Running game showed up, but the Giants aren't a good team. Now, it's good that we use that running game. It's good that Mike McCarthy, and I'm going to pull up some of my tweets because it feels like Mike McCarthy does listen to us. You feel me? I feel you. Rico was supposed to get that touchdown. But I will get excited about this as you see these numbers right here. Dak is going crazy, especially at home. What's that? 12 straight wins at home. Dak is just phenomenal at home. I mean, his rating at home, I'm going to have to get it. I'm going to pull up these numbers. Um, but his numbers are absolutely crazy at home. First of all, 26 of 35, 404 yards, average 11 yards of pass play, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. You see the numbers. We finally saw the Rico Dell sighting. And that's why I say I'll give Mike McCarthy credit. I will say that because in a tweet, I had talked about this earlier in my tweet. I'm going to pull that tweet up so y'all can see it right quick. Here it goes, and I'm gonna show a lot of my tweets right here, but this one right here is the one I'm gonna show when it says you might not be able to see it on the screen, but I said one thing I like about Mike McCarthy is when the media, the fans, content creators be on his ass, that man listens, and that's the truth. I will definitely ride with that man listens to this. When we get to screaming, you need to get Brandon Cooks the ball. When we get to screaming, you need to play Michael Gallup less. When we get to screaming, Rico Dowdell's got to play more. When we get to screaming, we need to see Jalen Tolbert more. When we've been screaming these things on this offense, right? Get Jake Ferguson the ball, all those Schoonmaker. You still keep going to that dude and he keeps dropping passes. So, whatever. But we also said CeeDee Lamb need to get the damn ball. That's your playmaker. He's your top guy. Why doesn't he get the ball at the beginning of the game? We've seen that. So I will definitely give Mike McCarthy credit that he does listen to that part of the discussion. When we're out on Twitter, there were tough questions they were asking him. Calvin Watkins, a lot of good beat writers were asking tough questions like, how come, you're talking about Brandon Cooks and this and that? How come he's not getting the ball? Oh, this ain't fantasy football. Well, guess what happened? He said it wasn't fantasy football, right? Because we were talking about, they were asking questions. Well, why isn't Brandon Cooks getting the ball? Well, we just saw right here, 10 targets, 9 receptions, 173, 19 yards, 1 touchdown. You see how much more the offense is explosive. And right down here, we're looking at just the receiver position, y'all. Just the receiver position, because I said the Cowboys will have to go more pass run than run pass. They're going to have to set up the pass and the run. And it's not like Mike McCarthy hasn't done that in his career. It hasn't been like Mike McCarthy hasn't thrown the ball and then set up the run afterwards. It's just a fact. That's how he plays. So it was curious us like, why are you trying to set up the run and go pass when you've always been pass, run? So now you're starting to see the real McCarthy coming out. Now, I don't know if that front office backing off of him, because also we were complaining about Michael Gallup getting snaps, right? Getting snaps over Jalen Tolbert. And we saw in the beginning of that game, when I saw those 3 receiver and 4 receiver sets, or those 3 receiver sets especially, I was seeing CeeDee Lamb, I was seeing Brandon Cooks, and I was seeing Jalen Tolbert. And then I still see Schoonmaker in the very beginning of the game, which pisses me off. Look at that. I don't even want to talk about him. But Jake Ferguson, that's your man. That's your guy. Jalen Brooks got work. 4 catches, he looked good. He looked smooth. He looked explosive. I liked that. He was smooth. He didn't look, I'm not going to say he looked explosive, but he looked smooth. Jalen Tolbert looked good, even though he didn't get a lot of catches. He got targets. And it just felt like the thing was rolling. And let me give a big shout out to CeeDee Lamb. First player in NFL history. What's up, Craven Cowboys? Good to see you. I'm going to pull that up. Good to see you, Trey. What's up with you? CeeDee Lamb, first player in NFL history. That's crazy. He's the first player in NFL history to have 3 straight games of 10 receptions, 150 yards. Congratulations to CeeDee Lamb. You're about to get pizzade. You understand? Pizzade. You're about to get pizzade. And we're happy to see it. So I love seeing all those good things. The offense was rolling. Another 40-point game. The team looked strong. Let me get this question out here from Gabby. BGJ, I have a question. Why does it seem like our voice matters now? Why wasn't this working last season? And what can we do to ensure it doesn't revert to what's? Oh, that's a damn good question. That's a damn good question. I just feel like each year we get more powerful. If you want the truth, honesty from me, I feel like each year the fans, social media is everywhere, and these guys can't hide like they can before. Let's keep it real. Like, I remember when I was coming up, you didn't have social media. You just had the beat writers, you just had the interview, you just had those guys that asked all the questions, and they didn't ask any questions from the fans. They didn't ask any questions from content creators. They didn't get any of that pressure. You feel me? Because there was no social media, so it was all them. So I feel like coaches, players, they could hide and do whatever. Now they cannot do that. Players cannot hide, coaches cannot hide, because you are on it. Social media is in your face 24/7. And I feel like our voice gets stronger each year because we talk to these guys. You seen with the late night hype back in the day, we connected with these guys, and you see content creators out there growing left and right, and they're touching these players, they're influencing these players. And guess what? There's a lot of content creators, a lot of people know football. Just because we didn't play in the NFL, or just because you didn't play, this right here, there's a lot of content creators coached. There's a lot of content creators that played the game, and I just feel like we're starting to get that respect because you're starting to see the background, you're starting to see the connections, and I feel like we're asking real questions. We're talking about real things. We're not asking things that aren't going to help the team. These are realistic questions when you're saying, why is Michael Gallup getting more snaps when he is not the same player? Obviously, you brought Brandon Cooks over here for a reason. Why is he not getting the ball? You went over in the offseason and free agency and got a player that you needed to help get explosive for your team, and you're not using them. Those are valid things that your coach has to answer. And if he comes out there and says this isn't fantasy football, guess what? That blast is going to be on him again next week. And guess what? These coaches don't want to keep hearing that noise every week. I'm telling you right now, they do not want to hear that noise every week. And I feel like, Gabby, that's the reason why our voice gets even more powerful. Before I go any further, keep on coming in, hit that like button, share, smash the like button. But I'm going to put this link in here again. It's a GoFundMe link. Check that GoFundMe link out. My stepdaughter, Natalia Weston, she wants to go. She has a trip. Her school has a trip to Italy and Greece, and it's at the end of the school year. It's in June. And it would just be awesome for her to be able to go. She's an honor student. She's been a straight A student for the last, 3 years. She gets straight A's. I think her grade point average is a 3.9 right now. Great kid, awesome girl, fun-loving. She's in the band right now. She's doing a lot of things, about to get on student council. She's just an amazing young lady, and we really want to see her go. We've already started a GoFundMe. We've already started getting some numbers that started hitting, but we really want to see her get there. So I just posted the link in my I actually just post the link in the comment section. So please check out the GoFundMe. Not asking a lot. If you can, whatever that you would love to donate for her would be awesome, because like I said, we really want to see her get to Italy and Greece. I just wanted to throw that in there before I talk any more about the Cowboys. Please, if you love to support, you love to see the kids do great, she's going to continue to do amazing things, and we want to see her do those amazing things. So check the link out. Please go to it. And if you love to donate, that would be awesome, and we would love to see you do it. So definitely appreciate you, Justin. Appreciate anybody that would like to donate to the cause, because as I said before, we want to see her get there. Now, that's my little plug with that. Now, As far as these Giants, like I said before, the Giants, and now I'm gonna talk about some things. Giants, they aren't a good team, right? They aren't a good team. But the good thing that I like about this game, if we're talking about anything, is that Mike McCarthy, bro, you're going to need a Rico Dowdell, right? You are going to need a Rico Dowdell. Facts. You're going to need a running back. And we keep on talking about why are we stalling? Why are we not being able to run the ball? Because I'm gonna keep it real, dog. I'm not saying Tony Pollard is terrible, but it's just like he I don't know. He was running okay, but I don't know what it is with Pollard. I don't know what it is. I think the fact that they keep on trying to run him up the middle, run him up the middle. He's not a small guy, but obviously we see he's not a guy that you can run up the middle and get tough yards. That is for Rico Dowdell. You want to run somebody up the middle like you had it with Ezekiel Elliott and a power runner. That's who you need to give it to. Dowdell, when you gave him the ball up the middle, he was explosive. He ran strong, right? Ran strong. You had him for 12 carries, 79 yards, 6 yards a carry. And like I said, he looked strong and explosive. You get Tony Pollard on the outside. You get Tony Pollard on the sweeps. You get Tony Pollard on the toss. You need and I said that, Big Dow. If you listen to what I said, uh, if you listen to what I said about with Rico Dowdell when we talked on the final word, and even this week, I said Rico Dowdell needs at least 8 to 10 touches, 7 to 8, but then I moved it up, bumped it up to 8 to 10 touches. I feel you. I said bump it up to 8 to 10 touches. He needs to see that every single game. If you want this offense to continue to be good, this is where you need to really feature them, because these are the games that we can really feature them. And that's what I appreciate about Mike McCarthy and the staff, that they understood that Giants aren't a good team. You're playing Carolina next, who's not a good team. You're playing Washington. They're not really a good team. And you're playing Seattle, and they're okay. So that's 4 games. I said right after we lost to the Eagles, these are 4 next games that these are all winnable games that you should win and dominate, really. This should get your confidence back. If you needed it, these were the confidence games to get you ready for those Eagles again, right? Because when you have them at home. So these are the times that you have to use the Jalen Brookses, the Jalen Tolberts, the Rico Dowdells, the Brandon Cooks. These are the guys that you need to continue to give the ball to. You need to continue to throw it to Jake Ferguson. He's a budding tight end #1. These are the guys you need to get in your offense, because you're going to need these guys down the stretch. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to my girl Craven Cowboys with a $5 holla. Hey ho, he said, BGJ, I love me some Rico. I think his 77 yards got him to thinking. It has to. You feel me, Craven? It has to. How can you not? How can you go back to not playing Rico after he just showed you what he can do going forward? Now, if you play against those Carolina Panthers and he goes off again, now that's what you want. You need a two-back system. We remember when we played in those playoffs. You're going to need Rico Dowdell in them playoffs. You're going to need Tony Pollard and Rico Dowdell both in them playoffs. You're going to need them. You need two backs. We saw in that game when you lost to San Francisco last year, who got hurt? Tony Pollard. They had to go Ezekiel Elliott, and he wasn't that guy anymore, and the whole team suffered. Rico Dowdell is somebody you need. He's explosive. He's been waiting 4 years. We've been waiting 4 years. I've been talking about him the last couple of years. I said he could be the guy this year. He just has to stay healthy. He's been healthy. We need him. He is a guy you need. And we all been talking about Brandon Cooks. Why'd you bring this man over and you ain't throwing the ball? You need Brandon Cooks. You need somebody to stretch the field. How much easier did our offense look when Brandon Cooks was involved? How much easier did it look? It doesn't look like the team is stressing or anything when you're getting playmakers involved. You needed a playmaker opposite of CeeDee Lamb, and that is a playmaker. Brandon Cooks is a playmaker. No matter what you say about him, you don't get 1,000-yard receiving games, 1,000-yard receiving years in like 3-4 different teams if you're not good. Use him, and that's what you see how the offense opens up. You see how explosive it is when he gets the ball. When you're trying to force it to Michael Gallup, no hate on you, big dog. I'm sorry, no hate, but you're not the guy. Michael Gallup is not the guy. The offense will not go forward with Michael Gallup being that guy. And I'm glad they're starting to see it. I'm glad they're not allowing the money to dictate. I'm not saying they are, but it looked like in that offense, they weren't allowing the money to dictate the playing time in this game. And that's what, don't do this just against Giants. So do this when you against them Eagles. Do this against them Buffalo Bills. Do this against them Miami Dolphins. Do this against them Detroit Lions. So if this has to give you the confidence to do it, to beat up on these sorry teams and use these guys to get you confidence, then Do it, because you need to play these guys in these big games when we play the Eagles again, when we play those Buffalo Bills, when we play those Miami Dolphins, when we play those Detroit Lions. That's the offense that we need to see. All those guys that you're running in now against these bummy teams, that's what you need to do. So if you need to get the prep work for it ahead of time, I'm down with it. You feel me? Make that happen, and don't run away from it, because those players that turned up today, you're gonna need them down the line. So it was good to see. Shout out to my cousin Tavis Banks for the $9.99 holler. Rico was a prototype of physicality. Zika, she was. I mean, you see how he runs. I mean, it's a no-brainer why you're not playing that guy. So hopefully they continue to stay that. I mean, he had 4 carries for 50 yards. I mean, if you kept feeding him, he definitely would have had a 100-yard game against him. That's a good thing. Once again, I'm also going to say, I'm going to show my Twitter account also the things that I was talking about, and me and Star talked about on the Big Star Show. Make sure you check that show out every Thursday. It's a banger. Star comes with that heat with our 4-star things. We're going to have our rising stars and falling stars next week, but just some things I was showing right here. Rico Dowdell said this was early in the game. Once again, when Dak scored the touchdown, once again, the team is better when Dak uses a leg to avoid the rush. Tell me that's not true. Tell me it's not true. Our team is better when Dak is using his legs in the pocket. When Dak is not sitting there holding the ball, trying to make a play. No, run, dude. Run. And now he's doing it. He ain't waiting forever, sitting there trying to find somebody open. I felt like he was handcuffed those last couple of years where he wasn't trying to run the ball, or if he was just injured, I don't know. But all I know is he's using his legs now. He is running, and that makes our team better. You don't, like, once again, you don't have to set up RPOs for him. You don't have to just do draws. You don't have to come out with running set plays for him. But my main thing is when he's in that pocket and he gets pressured and there's open running lanes, he needs to run to get those first downs. It reminds me of when we had Russell Wilson, when you had Russell Wilson in them early days with the Seattle Seahawks. One thing I liked about Russell Wilson back in those Seahawks days is that he'll run the ball the whole time down the field. If he couldn't find a play, he'll run it the whole time down the field. We need to get these first downs and get in the end zone, and that's what I want Dak continue to do, is to use his legs, because when he uses his legs, this team is better. Now I'm going to the Big Star Show because she had her 4 keys to victory, and you got to check out her keys to victory. They're awesome. Keep Saquon on 100 yards. They did. Force 2 turnovers. Did we get 1 or 2? Oh, we got the one with Deron Bland, who's a beast, leads the NFL with 5 interceptions. Oh, I'm just hurting that Trevin Diggs is not out there. Ooh, well, you knew, at least you know you got 2 bookends. We hope Jordan Lewis is okay. But hey, throw Izzy in there. Get that young rookie Eric Scott prepped and ready, because we need to get that defense ready if Jordan Lewis is out, because you don't have a slot corner now, possibly if he's got a foot injury or something like that. So that's something to look at. So throw Izzy in there. Let him get that work against these Carolina Panthers. Let him get that work against the Washington Commanders, and let him get that work against the Seattle Seahawks, bro, so they can be ready for the stretch run. You get what I'm saying? And here was the key, the number 3 key. Use a variety of personnel. We have been talking about that. Use other guys. And you finally saw it. They used the ball. They spread it around. They got it to their playmakers. This was a good day. Okay. Also, just so you see, D-Law, he got a sack. D-Law is the New York sack giant guy. If you ever see D-Law, he's always going to get a sack against them damn Giants. So shout out, hey, D-Law, you got a sack against them. Sam Williams, another sack in spot duty. You need more Sam Williams. If we're talking about more players that we need to see more of, you need to see more Sam Williams. I think he came out in the starting lineup. You had Micah running that middle linebacker. We saw Rashaan Evans, but we saw Micah running that linebacker a lot more. Yes, his sacks are going to go down because he's playing the linebacker position. I'm not mad at that, because you need to see Sam Williams, right? If you got D-Law on one side, Sam Williams need to be your starting right end. If I don't know how you got to figure it out. I know Dorrance Armstrong Jr. is there, but Sam Williams got to continue to get tick. He's got to be your starter on the other book end. This is a second year. I'm sorry. I just slipped my brain, but Sam Williams got to be starting. I know I've been hearing about he's got the discipline issues. He doesn't, always thinks he's got all the answers. We had talked about that, but going forward, I mean, he's got to be a starter, because this defense is better when Sam Williams is in there. I'm sorry. He just is. Am I sounding low? Okay. Let me turn it up some. I shouldn't be sounding low. Not at all. But As I said before, Sam Williams has got to be a starter soon. You feel me? Like he has to be a starter because you need him. He causes havoc and I think the more Sam Williams plays the more in the game, the better he gets. You need Sam Williams on the other side, opposite of D Law, Dorrance Armstrong Jr., whatever the hell you're doing. Sam Williams needs to play. So if we're talking about the players that need to play more, that is one guy who needs to play more, period. The team is better with him starting. He needs to play, period. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and Trey, you ain't wrong. I'm gonna post this right quick because we talked about this on the final word. We talked about this, and Boss said it, and I said, I don't know if you should play him because if you play him, not that I don't want to play Trey Lance. I want to play Trey Lance. The only thing I said, don't play him because if he goes in there and goes crazy and has a really good game, people be like, as soon as Dak missed it, play Trey Lance. That's the only reason. But yes, going forward, we know what Cooper Rush is. And no hate on Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush ain't never starting for a team ever in his life. Cooper Rush will always be a backup. We know what Cooper Rush is, but we don't know what Trey Lance is in this Cowboys offense, and you need to see what he looks like. So I totally agree with you, Trey. We should elevate Lance over Rush, and especially in this game against Carolina Panthers. If you're trying to see what you have in Trey Lance, if you're trying to see if it could possibly be a future guy, whatever you're trying to do with him, these were the games that you should have played him. So I apologize, boss, on that one. I agree with you now when thinking about it. I was just saying about the controversy. I definitely wanted him to play, but I was worried about the controversy. But now going forward, you need to see what Trey Lance is because you know what Cooper Rush is, right? And keep it real, if God forbid there was an injury, I definitely don't want to see the team. I don't care what Cooper Rush did last year. I don't want to see Cooper Rush running this offense. I'd rather see Trey Lance run this offense as the second stringer than Cooper Rush. So yes, I totally agree. Get him in that lineup, get him to start playing. So if it's the Carolina Panthers, if it's the Washington Commanders, if we're blowing them out because we done sat out 4 or 5 of our starters and ain't finished the games, then Trey Lance needs to play. So I totally agree with that. Trey, period. I totally agree with you on that one. So, what else was I talking about? We talked about Deron Bland, CeeDee Lamb. Yeah. There he is right there. You're good right there. So, here's what I'm going to talk about. Some things that, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this in love because I had somebody tweet at me, right? They said, you always crying. Somebody said I'm always crying because I made the post on my thing, and this is what I said. I'm gonna pull it up. This is a post, and people can say what they want. I don't care, but this is what they said.
Rufus hates being stuck inside. Luckily, Amy saved big at.
Where we at? I'm gonna say this. Where we at? Okay. Now this is what I posted. Now people got mad at me. Some people said, big game, I'm Montana 808. He was just playing, so don't pay no attention to him. That's my dog. But some people jumped in there. You always crying. When we win. Every time we win, you crying. You can't never just be happy. And I heard people on Twitter, y'all, anybody who's bitching about this win, y'all just need to log off, be quiet. People, I just heard so many people say, well, you know what? Y'all can do that. That's fine. I'm not gloating in this win. I'm happy as a Cowboys fan because that Cowboys fan in me loves seeing Cowboys win, love seeing Cowboys dominate, love seeing Cowboys do all that. But guess what? It's beyond that now with me because we playoff team. We already know we going to the playoffs. It's playoffs. It's beyond playoffs. It's win games. It's win championship games. So this is all I said. Now understand when I say this, it was a great win. It was a great win. And I love how we use other players. They use this team, but this team, I loved how they did everything with this team. This man don't stop doing that. It's getting on my damn nerves. But what I said was, let me pull it back up. I'm excited that for the great win. I'm excited that we used a lot of personnel, but this is not a good team. The Giants are terrible. I even said at the beginning of the season they were going to have a regression and they weren't going to do what they did last year. I already said they were going to regress. Now, you didn't have Tyrod Taylor. You didn't have Daniel Jones. The offense is in shambles, right? The offense is in shambles. That defense is not good. That team is not good right now, right? So Let's not get overhyped. That's all I said. Don't get overhyped over this team like Dallas is back on track. Like, oh yeah, we back, we back. The Giants are not a good team. So that's not a good evaluation for, I'm just tired of hearing that. That is not a good evaluation for you, my opinion, for your parameter of your team. Because you should destroy the Giants. They're not good. I'm not taking anything away from the victory, but let's not get ahead of ourselves like, oh, we're back, we're back, we're back. No, no, we haven't played. That wasn't a good team we played. Giants were not a good team. So I'm not jumping up and down saying, oh, we're back, we're back. I can't do that. That's one thing I just can't do and say we're back. Now, these things that are happening for us, okay, you want your team to look good in that aspect, right? You want your team, and I'm pulling it up right here. You want your team to look good. You want your team to play strong, consistent. You want to dominate teams you're supposed to dominate. So we did exactly what we're supposed to do. But I can't get excited like we're back. I can't get excited like, oh, the Cowboys are right back on track. I cannot do that. Okay. What I'm going to do is be excited that you're playing other players. Those guys are getting experience for your stretch run, because you got a stretch run at the end of the year starting in November 30th where you're going to have to really handle your business. So these aren't the barometer for you, not in my opinion. These teams that you beat are not your barometer, but you continue to sprinkle in your players that you're going to need for the stretch run. So these games are good for the Brandon Cooks, the Rico Dowdells, the Sam Williams, the Jalen Tolberts, the Jake Fergusons, the continued growth of CeeDee Lamb. Continue to use those guys that you haven't been using, the things that we've been complaining about. Continue to implement them in these games. So when you're ready to play those Eagles again, Rico Dowdell's there. When you're ready to play them Eagles again, you know you got Brandon Cooks you can use. When you're playing them again, Sam Williams can get another strip sack or another couple sacks to help your defensive front line. Even Mozzie played good. I think this was probably one of Mozzie's better games. Yes, total agreement, Trey, that Jalen Brooks looks smooth. That's the biggest thing I saw about him. He was catching that ball. He was smooth with it. And hey, Michael Gallup got a deep pass touchdown, and that's what we talked about on the shows, that Michael Gallup is better when you don't talk about him. You don't force the ball to Michael Gallup. No way in hell Michael Gallup should get 10 targets anymore. Okay, no way in hell. So you shouldn't be forcing the ball to him. So that game where he got them 10 targets, that was crazy, and we got on him, and that changed right after that, right? You saw the scale down in the snaps, you saw the scale down everything. But guess what? Michael Gallup got the big long touchdown. Why? Because nobody's thinking about Michael Gallup now. And that's when Michael Gallup can be better. Michael Gallup is better when he ain't the focus now. He don't need to be the focus. Your focus needs to be CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, Brandon Cooks, Jalen Tolbert, and then Michael Gallup. Then Michael Gallup is a better player. So that's just a smart way to go. You get what I'm saying? And I ain't even disagreeing with you, 808. I ain't even disagreeing with you. Our defense has to continue to step up, because we can't get excited about that team because they had Tommy DeVito, right? That wasn't nothing to get excited about, in my opinion. For real. Tommy DeVito, first start. He's not a good quarterback. So that's not a good barometer of our defense to be able to see that. Wanye Thomas, he got one tackle. Continue to free Wanye. Okay. We need to still continue to see Wanye. We need to see Izzy Mukamu in that slot. We need to continue to see these players. Rashaan Evans, he was in there, got a few plays. We need to continue to see more of him. I think he's going to be good in the run game, especially defending the run game. So those players need to continue to get more snaps. You know what I mean? So I like seeing that. But my last few things out, in my opinion, are we can't get hyped up about these games. You can get excited that we won and you used it, but we cannot get hyped up about these games like, oh, the Cowboys are back, because that's false sense of security. That's all I'm saying to us Cowboys fans and people alike. Don't let us get the false sense of security that we are back. This team is no, because these teams aren't good. These are wins that you should rack up. These are wins you should be winning because you're a better team. You're one of the best teams in the league. You should be beating these teams, just like you shouldn't have lost to the Cardinals. And I'm going to keep talking about that, because that Cardinals loss is a sticky loss. That's a loss that's going to come back and bite the Cowboys as far as seeding and things of that nature. And you just saw the Niners. They ain't went nowhere. We were hyped that they lost 3 games in a row. They came in to play them Jacksonville Jaguars, who are a playoff team and are a good team, and they got smacked by them Niners. You feel what I'm saying? And we still haven't beat them. So we can't get the false sense of security. We played those Eagles. We lost to them. Even though we banged with them, we still lost. So those are the two top teams in NFC right now, along with the Cowboys. Those are the three teams right there. And if you look at the other teams, and I gave a video and I talked about those other teams. Minnesota, they're probably going to go because they made that trade for Josh Dobbs. They're probably going to go to the playoffs. You got Seattle; they probably could go as a wild card with the Niners. And when you look at those other teams besides the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Niners, who is there really else? There's not really anybody else. And those three teams right now, we've already played two of them and lost. So we have to continue to get better because those are the challenge, not those other teams. That is the challenge. So we can't have the false insecurity that because you beat in the Giants, or if you play the Carolinas and beat their head in, that, oh, you're back. But what it does say is that you're being consistent, you're being the teams you're supposed to be. But when you play these other teams, you got to take it to another level. And those same options and people you're running, those same plays, the attack mode, the aggressiveness that we've seen against these tough, sorry teams, I need to see that against these good teams. That's all I'm saying. 808, you feel me? Bad loss against the Cardinals. Bad loss. Should not have happened. Yes, Kyler Murray got him a game, but they didn't have Kyler Murray then. They weren't a good team. And that Cardinals game is going to stick out like a sore thumb at the end of the year. Trust me when I tell you. But I can't get mad. I don't feel bad. I love seeing the Cowboys win, so that's always a damn good thing. The Cowboys winning and handling their business, which they should. But once again, let's Cowboys fans, let's not get the false sense of security that, oh, we're back, we're doing this, because we still got to beat these top teams, and we have not done that. Dallas has not done that yet. You played both of them right now, and you lost to both of them. So we can't get the false sense of security that the Cowboys are back, because they still have to. You have to play the Eagles again, which I think we're going to beat them at home. I believe we're going to beat them at home. You got Buffalo. You got Miami, who I think they're a little fraudulent, but they're still a good team. And you saw with them Lions, that's going to be a banger. Even though we pretty much have the Lions number, that's going to be a banger. So that's where we find out a little bit more about the team. Okay, that's what we're going to find out about the team. We're not going to find out about the team beating these squads. You're not going to find out what team you have with the Cowboys beating the Giants, the Carolina Panthers, the Washington Commanders, the Seattle Seahawks. That's not how you're going to find out what your team is. You find out what your team is when you play them Eagles, when you play them Buffalo Bills, when you play them Miami Dolphins, when you play them Detroit Lions, and even when you play them Commanders at the end of the year. That's when you're going to find out your team. And you want to be riding on a high note heading into them playoffs. So that's the meat of the schedule. So these 4 games are NFC games that you need to get you kind of back in your good position seating as far as playoffs, potential winning the division, wild card. These 4 games are huge in that aspect. But those next games after that, that's where you're going to find out what you're made of. You need to win those games heading into the playoffs, because you want to be on a strong high going into the playoffs. You don't want to be on a low. So those last 5 games starting November 30th, I believe, that's your barometer. That's your barometer. So I agree with you, Justin. You said, how can anyone have a sense of security? We haven't been in the NFC Championship in 28 years, one game at a time. But you know Cowboys fans, Justin D. Come on. Don't act like you don't know how Cowboys fans are. We are quick to say, we back. We just scored 40 in this. No, you'll get that false sense of security because you're explosive. You're dominating. Yeah, you can get it because Cowboys fans do. All I'm saying is, I don't believe. Yeah, he did. Coverage was too soft, and hopefully he stays aggressive. Be aggressive. But the good thing about it is, I think he got more of the zone kind of defense in the late drives. He got to be aggressive. But hey, they didn't really do a lot on us offensively. We shut down the run game. Eagles didn't run on us. We shut down that run game, which that's the thing I was worried about the most. I wasn't worried about the passes as much because I felt like they were going to get those passes. I was worried about that run game. We shut that down. And both of their receivers combined only had 115 total. So even though Dan Quinn didn't do the greatest, it wasn't terrible because the bad thing about it was those drives in the second half, the 60-yard drive and the 86-yard drive for the touchdowns. But they were aided by some questionable penalties, especially that suspect pass interference call on Stephen Gilmore. So they got grace with some penalties on those plays. But I don't think the defense was terrible. I don't think Dan Quinn coached a terrible game. It wasn't his greatest game, but I don't think it was a terrible game because we limited their weapons. We limited their options. We just didn't make the plays at the end. We shot ourselves in the foot. We beat ourselves. If we would have handled our business on the offensive end too, all the way, and we wouldn't have missed a few of those plays that we messed up on our own, we win that game. So, yeah. Appreciate you, Stelios. Been a long time since I seen you, dog. It's good to see you. You feel me? So it's good to see, as I said before, it's good to see. I love dominating the Giants. I mean, a Giant fan can't even talk to us no more. I love it. So, you know, yeah, I agree. I do agree with that Jalen Hurts was hobbled and he didn't want to run as much. I mean, we talked about that during the week before they even played that he was injured, and that's why he probably stayed in that pocket. But it looks like to me, unless he gets better by the bye, that knee is going to be an issue the rest of the year. So that's something for the uh, us other teams to look at is Jalen Hurts' knee because he definitely was 100% in that game. So that's something to keep your eye on. But at the end of the day, Cowboys are 6-3. Um, Headed Carolina. They got Carolina at home. This should be another blowout victory. Let's continue to see these other guys continue to get Rico Dowdell the ball. You're going to need a two-back system heading into these playoffs. You're going to need Jalen Tolbert. You're going to need Jake Ferguson. You're going to need the Brandon Cooks. So continue to highlight them. Continue to open the door. Continue to go after your dog. CeeDee Lamb, he's on a record pace right now. He's showing you why he got the 88 on his chest, and he's about to get pizzade. Once again, he's about to get pizzade. And yes, we're going to be looking at his Eagles got a gauntlet of a schedule next. So that'll be something to look at with them. We'll be checking out them because they got the Buffalo Bills, I believe. They got the San Francisco 49ers. They got some tough games in front of them. So we'll be keeping our eye on them as well. So we'll see. But overall, happy what the Cowboys did. I'm happy what Mike McCarthy did as far as using his weapons. As far as not listening to us, because you don't want to be a coach that's governed by the audience. But the fact is, you knew that those players, you need them, and you need them down the stretch. You feel me? Oh, and KC. Yes, they got KC. They got the Niners. They got a tough little patch. So we'll see what they're made of, right? As well. They beat us, but we'll see what they're made of against these tough teams. All right, because not like they had the toughest schedule. The Miami Dolphins, like I said, I think they're a little fraudulent. Every winning team that they played, they've lost to. So I need to see them play against these Chiefs. I need to see them play against these Niners. I need to see them play against them, and let's see how they react, and let's see if Cowboys can jump back in it and possibly get back in and to win the division. Because right now, if they split with the Eagles in the division, they have a chance. But those two bad losses against the Niners, so we're hoping that the Niners beat them, but the Niners beat us. You feel me? So like I told you, we got to win those type games, So we'll see. But I appreciate everybody in the building. Once again, I'm going to leave that link to you for the GoFundMe for my stepdaughter and Natalia Weston. Please check out that GoFundMe as I get ready to head off of here. We're going to play the song tonight because we don't play that song unless Cowboys doing their damn thing. We ain't never playing that song if the Cowboys ain't doing their thing. But yeah, we're going to get them Cowboys in here. How about them Cowboys as we get ready to head off here and get ready for these Carolina Panthers. But once again, Mike McCarthy, continue to use the guys that's going to help you get where you need to go. You need to use all your weapons. You need to come out hard in the paint with these guys. So can just continue to do what you're doing. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Thank you for the donations. Please check out that GoFundMe. The goal is $6,000. That's how much the trip is. It ain't cheap by any means. And you know how parents are. We grinding. We got bills. We trying to take care of everything, but we trying to continue to make everybody great. So we want her to be great. So please check out that GoFundMe. Like I said, the goal is $6,000, and anything that you would love to donate would be awesome for us. So as I head out here, Cowboys look good. Don't be deceived. Let's continue to rack up these dubs, and let's get ready for these Carolina Panthers, and let's hope Mike McCarthy stays on course with using his weapons that he should, right? So this is Big Game James. I'm out. And how about them Cowboys, dog? We know what it is.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
How about them Cowboys? Click clack pow boys. Make you say wow boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Big game, first name James. He interviewed, he called the games. Silver blue, you know the name from the Emmitt Smith to the Michael Irv. We beating skins, shooting birds. I see a banker snatch it out his fur. Favorite team on the planet Earth. From Monday night to Sunday church. DJ putting in the work. I'm tuning in, no need to search. Through thick and thin and good and worse. Them Cowboys, click like pow boys. Make you say wow boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like pow boys. Make you say wow boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that silver and blue done did it again. Them Cowboys, click like pow boys. Make you say wow boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like pow boys. Make you say wow boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that silver and blue done did it.